Hey, 大家好，我是 Amber.
Hey, 大家好，我是小麦. Today we're talking about fast food and takeaway food in Britain. Just like everywhere else, fast food and takeaways are popular in Britain. But most often, British people don't eat British food from takeaway restaurants. This is especially true for younger people who would rather have pizza instead of fish and chips. In December, YouGov showed that the pandemic had shifted Britain's takeaway habits, with those who ordered frequently before the COVID-19 pandemic doing so even more during lockdown. Now YouGov asks Britons what is their favourite takeaway.
Overall, 1 in 4 Britons, so 25%, picked Chinese food as their preferred takeaway, while 17% said they prefer Indian. Another 16% opt for classic fish and chips.
Okay, so Chinese takeaway food in Britain. First up, we have the classic chow mein. Whether you order chicken, shrimp, beef, or whatever else, you're likely to get a similar tasty dish involving stir-fried noodles and veg. As with many takeaway meals, chow mein isn't actually a traditional Chinese dish, but something altered for restaurants and takeaways.
Other popular Chinese takeaways meal include sweet and sour chicken or pork, shredded crispy chili beef, chicken in black bean sauce, and everyone's favorite, Peking roasted duck.
No list of the UK's favourite takeaways would be complete without the good old Indian takeaway. Most Indian takeaway meals are considered part of the cuisine known as British Indian food. Essentially, popular Indian food was altered to suit British tastes and to make it easier to cook quickly in bulk. Expect lots of spices, onions, chilies, and a generous splash of cream to make things truly delicious.
Yeah, and the most popular British Indian takeaway meals is the fantastic chicken tikka masala, featuring chicken pieces swimming in a gorgeous red and rich sauce. It isn't a particularly hot curry, so it caters to most people's taste.
Most of these meals are served with either rice, naan, or a combination of both. If you add some poppadoms to the mix, then you've got a great feast waiting for you.
Fish and chips is a classic British dish, which is pretty simple but still easy to get wrong.
You need good quality fish, and both the fish and the chips need to be crispy. Soggy chips are a crime. Even if you aren't a big fish eater, you can still happily choose a chipped butty, battered sausage, or even a hearty portion of chips accompanied with salt and vinegar or curry sauce.
So around 1 in 8 people overall would choose pizza as their go-to takeaways, while Thai food and kebabs prove significantly less popular, followed by chicken and burgers, about 2% each. A significant proportion of the population also say they would not eat takeaway.
Next up we have pizza. No surprise whatsoever. Much like fish and chips, pizza is seen as a pretty safe option. At its most basic, you have bread, sauce, and cheese. You can't go horribly far wrong with that.
And according to surveys, the nation's favorite pizza topping is pepperoni, which again probably isn't much of a surprise. Second, we have barbecue chicken, closely followed by margherita pizza and ever controversial Hawaiian pizza. Apparently, quite a few of us do love pineapple on pizza. Who knew?
From there are a few pizza options that will still sound familiar and a couple that might not. Meatball pizza is next. Then we have the 4-cheese pizza, the calzone, prosciutto ham pizza, spinach and egg pizza, and hot and spicy pizza. Who knew that there were so many pizza options?
Yes. Okay, last but not least, there's a classic kebab. The kebab was once considered the chosen food of someone having a rough night out, but it is now a rising star among the nation's youth.
Honestly, you can't blame them because kebabs can range from being a comforting fare designed to fill a hole to something verging on luxury. The survey also reveals how young and old Britain's takeaway tastes are different. The younger British people are, the more likely they are to say pizzas are their favourite takeaway. 23% of 18 to 24-year-olds say so, compared to just 2% of the over 65s. By contrast, only 6% of these younger adults would opt for fish and chips as their favourite takeaway, compared to 28% of the over 65s. For a little more of the facts on this, Chinese proves the most popular choice, with both 25 to 49-year-olds 29%, and 50 to 64-year-olds, 26%, picking it as their favorite.
Speaking of the Chinese takeaway is funny because some of the Chinese food are not actually Chinese. For example, fortune cookies or prawn crackers. The message in cookies idea are not known, and prawn crackers are not eaten with meals. It's a popular snack though among kids.
Crab cheesy wontons or other types of cheesy wontons. Anything containing cheese isn't authentic since cheese was eaten in very few regions, and most Chinese people are lactose intolerant.
And beef chow mein. Depending on the region, sometimes like what you've eaten served on fried noodles might be available, but the flavor is probably much different.
And did you know that the name chow mein actually comes from chow mian, which means fried noodles?
Yeah. 那么在英国如何叫外卖呢？各大外卖的 APP 大比拼，究竟哪个最美味又划算？说到外卖 APP， 就不得不提到 Deliveroo， 它有自己的送餐员。外送费属于比较中等的水平，外卖小哥穿着统一标志性的 Tiffany 色衣服，背着 Tiffany 色的保温盒，在英国的大街小巷随处可见。而且据说外卖小哥哥小姐姐的颜值都比较高哦。他们的特点是提供当地比较有名的餐厅美食。如果某一天突然想吃英国的人气美食，又不想出门 ，Deliveroo 就是你最好的选择。但是缺点就是只能接受 card payment， 不接受现金支付。同样是外卖 APP，Uber Eats 会偏向配送当地连锁餐厅的外卖服务，它的优势就是司机足够多，送餐的任务呢是由 Uber 的司机来完成，所以在配送速度上还是有优势的。最快的时候完成一单配送只需要几分钟的时间，同时跟平时叫车一样 ，Uber Eats 还可以通过 App 追踪订单的送餐进度，看看美食一步步接近，内心简直有按耐不住的喜悦。缺点就是外卖费会比较高。Just Eat 在英国还是比较流行的，单从餐厅数量上来说 ，Just Eat 在英国肯定是最多覆盖的，几乎世界各地的美食都可以找到，从传统的中餐、粤菜、日本料理、韩国料理、努咖喱、披萨等等。但是缺点就是没有图片，只能凭菜名脑补画面。那么说到披萨，爱吃披萨同学绝对不能错过的是
Domino's
Pizza。Yes。Domino's Pizza 外卖绝对是披萨爱好者最佳选择了，它的种类很多，不仅可以选择 half 合拼不同口味的，还可以选择 create your own， 解决你选择困难症的苦恼。除了披萨以外呢，它也卖鸡块、烤鸡翅、薯饺、芝士条等小食，配上 garlic 和 herb 蘸料，简直是完美。就连 Ben & Jerry 冰淇淋也有呢。缺点嘛，主要就是它只卖披萨、炸鸡等，品种比较单调。所以以前每次快到交论文和考试的时候，根本连踏入厨房的勇气都没有。这个时候有外卖简直就是拯救人生的选择，耶！那么今天就跟大家分享在这里，我们下期再见吧，拜拜。
Bye.
I've been just picking up pieces of you. Think about how can I keep it true? I've been just picking up pieces of you. Think about how can I keep it true? 헤어지자고 아침부터 you've been going through my phone 말해봐 내가 바보인 줄 알아 not alone yeah You and I 날라가 cause we're flying for my brothers 바보야 I got problems popping bottles